he forgot your anniversary and then said why it's a big deal. How can you stay silent after that? Really, men these days are really so self-centered and ignorant. Of course, you should definitely take an action. He should know that it's not something he can ignore and get away with. Teach him the importance, push him away whenever he try to come close to you, especially at night, then see how he will realize his mistake. You were talking over the phone with one of your friends while looking at the view outside as it was raining. She was telling you how her husband forgot their anniversary, and when she complained, he said it's not a big deal. So you were giving her advice how she should not stay silent and need to realize her husband his mistake. Jungkook came there as he forgot some stuff when he heard your talk with your friend. You turned around and saw him wearing his watch, and he shifted his eyes to his watch when you caught him looking at you. You know, Nancy, these men are all the same. They think they are so special and they can treat us however they want, and we'll still be loving them like stupids. Jungkook's hand stopped in the middle as he knew you were saying all that just to make him hear it, and he was right. When he looked up, you were looking at him while there were no expressions on your face. You were just glaring at him. Yes, follow the tips and then see how he'll realize his mistake. Okay, bye, let's talk later. You ended the call while not shifting your eyes off him. You should not give such advices in someone else's life. It's their matter, they can handle. You raised your brow. Today you look in a really bad mood. Seems like my advice was on top and that's why it triggered someone who has the same mindset and attitude. Well, I don't care. You walked away from there leaving him confused. What happened to her in the morning? You sat at the dining table for breakfast and soon Jungkook also joined. As you both were eating in silence, you decided to break it because you knew this mister is not going to start a conversation anyways. So, how's the empire? Jungkook shifted his eyes from phone to you. Your tone was sarcastic. Busy as always. Of course, you replied while a bitter smile tugging at your lips. I wouldn't expect anything less from the great John Jungkook. He frowned, not understanding why you are talking like this all of a sudden. Is something bothering you? He shrugged, pushing a plate away. Why would anything be bothering me? I'm just living in a palace, ignored by my husband, watching him dedicate every waking moment to his business. His eyes narrowed slightly, trying to read you. I have been handling important matters, you know that. Important matters, you echoed while a mocking tone in your voice. And where do I fit into these important matters, Jungkook? Or have you forgotten you have a wife? His jaw tightened, but he remained silent. The frustration you had been bottling up for weeks began to spill over. Do you even care, or am I just another one of your possessions? Something to display but never appreciate? You asked as your voice rose a bit. Jungkook finally put his phone down and now his full attention on you. You know that's not true. Do I? You challenged him, standing up. Because all I see is a man more in love with his phone and business than with his wife. Without waiting for his response, you walked away from the dining room while your heel clinking sharply against the marble floor. Jungkook watched you leaving and he was so confused and a little frustrated as what suddenly happened to you. He looked at the servants who were standing there and they quickly looked down, fearing their life just by his one glare. He left the food as it is and got up before walking away. The day after the tense dinner, you were in the study flipping through a magazine but not really reading it. The silence of the house was almost oppressive, broken only by the occasional distant sound of Jungkook's voice as he spoke on the phone in his office. A knock on the door drew your attention, and Jungkook's assistant, Mina, entered holding an elegant envelope. "Mrs. John, there's an invitation for you," she said, handing it over with a polite smile. You took the envelope, a little curious to know what's inside. "Thank you, Mina." She nodded and left the room, closing the door quietly behind her. You opened the envelope and found an invitation to a grand party hosted by one of Jungkook's business associates. Not only Jungkook, but a lot of them also know you in his mafia world, and you kind of have your own image there. When Jungkook walked inside the study, you showed him the invitation. "I received an invitation to a party," you said, trying to keep your tone neutral. Jungkook looked a little interested. "From whom?" "One of your business associates. It's for both of us," he said, sliding it on the table while he came near and picked up the card, glancing it briefly before setting it aside. "I'll be there." His dismissive tone sparked a flare of irritation in you. "That's it? You'll be there?" He frowned, not understanding your frustration. "Yes, what else is there to say?" You sighed, leaning back in your chair. "Maybe something along the lines of, 'It sounds like fun,' or 'I'm looking forward to spending time with you.' Is that too much to say?" Jungkook's brow furrowed slightly, as if processing your words. "It's a business event. I'll be there because it's expected." "Of course, it's always about business with you," you murmured, looking away. His eyes narrowed as he sensed the sarcasm in your voice. "What are you getting at, YN?" You looked at him angrily and your voice came a little loud. "I'm getting at the fact that we never spend any time together unless it's for business. I thought maybe this party could be different, but clearly I was mistaken." Jungkook came near you. "If this is about last night, then..." "This isn't just about last night, this is about every night." "Jungkook, you're so wrapped up in your work that you barely even notice I'm here. Do you even care about us anymore?" You interrupted him in the middle as your frustration was boiling up. His expression softened slightly, a rare sight of his weakness. "Of course I care." "Then show it. I'm tired of feeling like a ghost in my own home. I want to feel like I matter to you. You're always so busy and arrogant. I don't care if you're like this always. I want to feel loved, pampered, and if you can't change your attitude for me, then we don't need to live together." Your last line really made him shocked. Before he could say anything, you got up, your eyes were shining with unshed tears. "I know I've been distant. I know I haven't been the husband you deserve, but I'm trying in my own way. These things, they don't come easily to me." "Then try harder, because I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending everything is okay." You left from there, closing the door loudly behind you. Jungkook took a deep breath and saw the invitation card. He realized his mistake and also got a little scared as things have gone serious now. And he can't let that happen. Even if he has to come out of his usual behavior for that, he would do anything for you. The next day, as you finished giving instructions to the servants, you saw Jungkook's assistant Mina coming inside, and there was a giant bouquet of flowers and a luxury brand shopping bag in her hands. She came near you and greeted you with a warm smile. "Mrs. John, Mr. John sent these for you. He wanted to make sure you have something special to wear to the tonight party." You took the bouquet, inhaling the sweet scent of roses, and examined the gown. It was stunning, a perfect fit for the grand event. Despite your frustration with Jungkook, the gesture touched you. Maybe he was finally starting to understand how much his neglect had hurt you. You looked at her. "Thank you for delivering this here. Can I ask why our Mr. John didn't come by himself?" She looked a little awkward because she knows when you are mad at him, you always sound like this. Actually, ma'am, he was the one bringing all this but got a very important call in the middle and had to go. That's why he asked me to deliver it to you as he might get late coming home. Oh, okay, thank you so much. You can go now, you said, forcing a smile while she bowed and walked away. You looked at the bouquet and the bag. Later in the evening, you were in your room getting ready. You wore a sleek black dress, a bit revealing and also different from what Jungkook had sent you. You knew he doesn't like when you wear revealing clothes, but today you were in the mood for one-on-one. As you put on your earrings, you heard the front door open and close. Jungkook was home. He walked into the room and stopped when he saw you. He looked at you with appreciation but seemed a bit confused when he noticed you weren't wearing the dress he had sent. You watched him through the mirror and you could see the frustration built on his forehead. Your eyes met and there was intense eye contact for a while before Jungkook walked in. You are looking beautiful. You were surprised as he didn't complain about the dress. Thanks. You gave a short reply. He came closer to you, making your heart skip a beat, and you were a bit amazed as well. He brushed a strand of your hair behind your ear. I'm sorry for everything. I promise I won't be the man you hate anymore. Your eyes softened as you saw the pure love and genuine apology in his eyes. Well, you were never the man that I will ever hate, but still, I'm happy you decided to correct your ignorance. He pressed a soft kiss on your forehead. The grand ballroom was alive with music and chatter as you and Jungkook finally made your entry. Everything was grand. You never go to many parties, but this one really impressed you. You could see famous business personalities and some celebrities as well. Jungkook kept you close to him. His hand rested protectively on the small of your back. Seems like you are no more bothered with what I wear. Did you stop caring? You said, looking at him. You know I can never stop caring, but I know my wife is more stubborn than a kid, so I'll let you do whatever you want. I'm here to protect. You tried to not smile but failed. Later, as the evening progressed, he got busy in conversations with various businessmen and associates. You can see from here that how busy and famous he is. Even though he's a mafia, very renowned businessmen and politicians rely on him. While he was busy talking, you found yourself standing alone near the bar, sipping a glass of champagne. Jungkook glanced at you occasionally, his expression unreadable. He had promised to make time for you, but old habits seemed hard to break. Is everything alright? A smooth voice interrupted your thoughts. You turned to see a man with a charismatic smile, someone you vaguely recognized from previous events. It was Park Jimin, one of Jungkook's business rivals. His eyes sparkled with interest as he looked at you. You returned him a polite smile. Yes, everything is fine. Jimin's smile widened as he stepped closer. You look stunning tonight. I almost didn't recognize you without Jungkook glued to your side. You chuckled, feeling a bit mischievous. He's busy with his work as usual. That's a shame. If you were mine, I wouldn't let you out of my sight. His tone was clearly flirtatious. Across the room, Jungkook noticed you and Jimin. His eyes narrowed. He excused himself from the conversation he was in and started making his way towards you. His posture tensed. Sometimes being alone isn't so bad, you said, giving the same energy, and he looked much more impressed. But it's not nearly as enjoyable as having good company, he said, flashing a wide smile. Jimin leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. You deserve someone who pays attention to you. Maybe, you replied, giving him a coy smile. Just then Jungkook arrived. He placed a possessive arm around your waist, pulling you close to him. Seems like you're not getting any company tonight, Jimin. His voice was filled with possessiveness and jealousy. Jimin smiled. He straightened up, still smiling but with a hint of nervousness. Just catching up with your lovely wife. She was all alone even after being incredibly beautiful. Jungkook's eyes were cold as he looked at Jimin. She's quite capable of choosing her own company, but she doesn't need any additional attention. You looked up at Jungkook, seeing the jealousy in his eyes. You decided to push a little further. Jimin was just telling me how much he appreciates my company. Jungkook's jaw tightened and he pulled you even closer. I'm sure he was, but let's not keep him from enjoying the rest of the party. Jimin nodded, sensing the tension. Of course, enjoy your evening. As Jimin walked away, Jungkook turned to you, his eyes blazing with jealousy. What was that about? You gave him an innocent look. Just a friendly conversation. Friendly. It looked like more than that, he said while his voice low and intense. You smirked, enjoying his reaction. Jealous, are we? You think it's fun to play games with me? He growled softly while his voice dripping with possessiveness. Flirting with another man in front of me. You met his gaze without flinching. Maybe I wouldn't have to if you pay more attention to me. His eyes flashed with a dangerous mix of anger and desire. You want my attention, you have it, but let's get one thing straight. He leaned in close, his breath hot against your ear. You are mine. No one else gets to look at you, touch you, or even think about you the way I do. He pulled back just enough to see a reaction, his hand still firmly on your cheek. Understand? He demanded while his voice a low, commanding growl. You nodded while your heart was racing. Good, because I don't share, ever. Even though he looked satisfied, you are the one who got what you wanted. It was a great idea to make him jealous. Now you know he would never go back to what he was, and you like when he claims you as his like that. He looked around the room, making sure everyone was watching, then turned back to you. You are my wife. Anyone who tried to come between us will regret it. He leaned in and kissed you, a fierce, possessive kiss that left no room for doubt about the claim over you. When he pulled back, he didn't move away. Instead, he kept you close, his arm securely around your waist, making sure everyone knew exactly who you belonged to. For the rest of the evening, Jungkook stayed close to you, never leaving your side. His presence was a constant reminder of his possessive love. And while you had enjoyed making him jealous, you couldn't deny the thrill of being claimed so fiercely by the man you loved.